Welcome everyone. Welcome to Butcher and the Beard. I'm David Butcher. That's John Shanley. How's everyone doing?
Morning. Not much going on. We had our rant yesterday about the Super Bowl, or actually the day,
Yeah,
right after.
right after the Super Bowl.
So that's it. Football's done. I mean, for a couple months, and then we get drafts and stuff like that. But we do have a lot of stuff. This is the the last week before the NBA All Star game, and then hopefully teams get healthy. Knicks got screwed by the refs last night, but they also didn't help themselves by benching Grimes for fucking 5 minutes, or he only played 5 minutes because they made that trade, so they had to put the new guy, the new old guy, friggin' 17 minutes, who was 8 for 8 or 1 for 8 when Grimes was 2 for 2. I don't know. I everybody you hear different things about the trade, like pros and stuff. They love the trade and this and that, and I'm like, when I look on it, that Bogdanovic, he's a good piece, and I could see him coming off the bench. But I really do not like Alec Burks. Like, he was terrible with us last time, and that's the year we didn't make the playoffs, and Tibbs refused to play the new guys, and he kept playing Burks, and like Burks is fucking trash. He's
Yeah,
trash. I don't care if he's hitting 45% from 3 point range. He can't guard anybody. And then, in a game that matters, 1 for 8, 1 for 5 for 3, like no rhythm, no nothing, doesn't work with anybody else. And like he can't defend. There's a reason that when he was starting, for us, and we wouldn't play, and the coach wouldn't play the younger guys, that we didn't make the playoffs and we just had a bad thing. And I'm seeing it out there with him now. Like, he can't defend. There's no chemistry with him. He's looking for his shot, or he's not afraid to take a shot, but then he goes 1 for 8. Like, he's
yeah.
terrible, and he doesn't get back on defense. Then you have this young kid, McBride, who's, he only played 5 minutes last night. Come on, give me a freaking break. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so mad they got Burks, because I'm like, Thibodeau better not play him, because he's not good. There's a reason he was on a team that was at the basement, and he was starting on a team that lost, what, 19 straight games.
Yeah.
He's not a winner. He's just not. And maybe whatever, he'll hit a shot or here and there, and maybe he'll help us in the long run in a little bit. But I can't stand him. I think he's a total team killer, and I was pissed when they traded for him.
Yeah.
You know, he, Alex Burks, 17 minutes, 1 for 8, 1 for 5. You know,
And they can't play defense.
5 points, and he doesn't play defense.
Yeah, that's
And McBride has been playing lights out. Well, maybe the coach will learn, maybe, but
yeah.
I don't know. That's the thing that scares me, because, 2 years ago, when or yeah, it was 2 years ago when they didn't make the playoffs because Derrick Rose got hurt and they were down a point guard, and he starts Burks the entire time, and we were just trash. And meanwhile, you have guys like Emmanuel Quickly and Quentin Grimes on the bench, and he wouldn't even give him a shot. And then those guys ended up being, great for you the following year once you got rid of Burks. Like, you had to force his hands to get rid of Burks, and then you go and fucking bring him back in.
Yeah.
Roy was like, "Yeah, take him. You can take him back."
They don't like
Fucking
him either.
trash.
That was a problem. It's an easy trade when you're like, yeah, I'm used to him. I'll take him for something low, you know. But
Yeah, whatever. But someone's got to tell, like, the fucking coach, like, you're doing a great job. You can't fucking play this guy. He's
yeah.
fucking trash. And that was like Heat fans with Lowry. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I don't
I
even think he
fucking hate
landed
this guy.
anywhere
Blah blah
since yeah. But nah,
blah.
some people come back to your team and then they're just the worst positioning. Like you're like, why did we
Yeah, I
trade
want to
for
know what
you?
his plus minus was for the game, out of curiosity.
Especially when
-3. Well,
like picking
whatever.
somebody in free agency and wasting a little bit of money is fine, but picking up somebody from a trade and wasting value of freaking capital is the worst. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I mean, they didn't give up any of their draft picks, which is fine, and they needed bodies because everybody's hurt. But like, when I looked at the guys they got, like, you can't. I wouldn't have given McBride less minutes than Burks.
Yeah.
Like he's playing great, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the fuck the coach was thinking. Maybe just get him out there, see what he has. Now I give Thibodeau credit, like he's done stuff like this in the past, and then when he sees it's not working, he just fucking benches you.
Yeah.
And I really am hoping that Burks gets buried on the bench unless somebody else, God forbid, goes down, and then we have to play him. But I wouldn't fucking give this guy. I wouldn't give him anything, any kind of minutes, nothing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I, I don't know. I know they're shorthanded, but like that's no reason. Like they started with 3 guards yesterday instead of a true forward. So like probably should have started Bogdanovich at the small forward, and then you could put Precious and Jericho, and then you have bring Hart back off the bench. I don't know what the fuck he's doing, but he's probably just like, well, we're screwed by injuries. I don't want to bring these new guys on the starting lineup and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But they're professionals. All I know of is he ever starts fucking Burks, I might be done with the team for the year. I
Yeah.
fucking hate this guy, dude. I really do. Like, I fucking think Burks is the worst piece of shit in the NBA. Like, he probably shouldn't even be in the NBA. But, well, I mean, maybe he's not that bad. But, his track record of being a fucking loser is not, he's done nothing in his to help you win. He's just in there to fucking help you get a loss.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes
anyway, that's my rant.
that's your rant.
I'm fucking done with that guy. Uh, anyway, Warriors stay hot. They beat the Jazz. The Bucks beat the defending champs. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Who else? Let's see. The Bulls beat the Hawks. A lot of Timberwolves beat the Clippers. Timberwolves beat the shit out of the Clippers in LA, which is interesting because the Clippers were so hot, and then the Timberwolves, who are tied with them in the standings, just went into their house and they're like, yeah, we are the real deal.
Yeah.
So that was kind of interesting. Um, like I said, the Knicks did get screwed by the refs. Like there was a physical game both ways, and yet the Knicks only went to the foul line like 9 times, and then the Rockets went to the foul line like 32 times. Like it was ridiculously one-sided. And then they call a foul on Jalen Brunson that should not have been called a foul, and even the ref said it shouldn't have been called a foul, but because it was called, they couldn't reverse it, which is bullshit because they can reverse it, if they huddle up and talk about it.
Yeah.
But they didn't reverse it, and then they, he shoots the free throws with 0.3 of a second left, and then he misses the last free throw. The Knicks get the rebound, and they said that the clock didn't start, so the Knicks are denied the timeout, so they didn't even get a chance to fucking shoot it. It was such bullshit. Like somebody had money on that game. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I don't know, but I don't know if it was that or if like the Thibodeau pissed the refs off early, so they were just like gonna fuck them,
Yeah.
because they're human, they might do that, be salty, whatever. But it was a terribly officiated game in one direction. So um, you know
Yeah. We know about that. I think
that
all
it was that
sports.
was horrible. The NBA should do something about that, and that one ref should be fucking suspended because that was just ridiculous how bad he was. You know,
Yeah.
so whatever. That is what it is. You're gonna have games like that, and I felt like the Knicks were gonna lose this game anyway, just because Houston's good at home. But then to have the refs against you too makes it even worse. And the Knicks probably could have pulled that game off. Uh, but whatever, it is what it is. We're hurting. We're starting Alec Burks. I'm more pissed about the Knicks playing Alec Burks 17 minutes than I am that they fucking got screwed by the refs, which is telling you something
Yeah.
about guys who's a hard Knicks fan. Like I'm more pissed that this fucking guy is fucking playing that shouldn't be than we totally got screwed over by the refs. But it was like whatever.
Yeah.
that shit. I'm used to that by now in sports. The refs are gonna screw you.
Yeah. They are.
Sometimes. So I ask the NFL. You know, so
It's the NFL, it's the
um,
basketball, it's the NBA, it's MLB, it's NHL. Like I feel like
mhm.
NHL is probably the closest to who I like root for, like ref wise. I don't like they just know.
Yeah.
I don't know if they know what they're doing, but maybe it's just the rule set is just a little bit better. You know what I mean? Like yeah, they're gonna make mistakes, but like, and they're gonna miss some calls for sure. But
Hmm.
I guess I guess because how like I don't really watch soccer, so I don't really
Right.
know that. But like I guess because of the flow is so ridiculous in like
Right.
NHL, because basketball like when there's like timeouts to the degree. Like I'm trying to explain like what I'm like hockey just seems so fast, right? It's back forth, back
Yeah.
forth, back forth. It might be 5 6 minutes before they even have a whistle. You know what I mean? And it
Oh
just
yeah.
seems like it's like basketball. There's always scoring, so it's like and it's a new possession. It's a
Yeah.
new thing. But in hockey, it's like okay, he's crossed the blue line. Okay, now he's out of the blue line. Now he's going in here. Now he's going in here. So when these refs miss calls or something like that, it just seems like it can happen like that. But they seem to be on their game. You know what I mean? They're like, oh look, that's cross checking, or hey, that's a high stick or something like that. So
Yeah.
like they just seem to know what I guess because of that fact of it being so fast. When they miss a call, you're like, oh come on, ref, but you don't get mad at them because of how fast the game is going. So it's like, oh look, they're down there. Now they're all the way down there. Now they're icing, and so like
Yeah.
basketball, like football is there's a hike every single play. In basketball, there's a possession change every play. In hockey, unless they score a goal or they offsides, it doesn't re-hit. It doesn't really stop the play at all. You know what I mean? You could just be pushing
Yeah.
the puck multiple times. It could be
Well,
four.
right.
Yeah,
In the other sports too, it's tough because but basketball, like if it's being physical on both sides, you
yeah,
would think that the foul calls would be equal. So to
yeah,
have like a 20 plus call favor and one team's advantage is huge. Like
yeah,
that's bad because that's not consistency.
yeah.
So
You're telling
and
me,
like I said, there are games where you have discrepancies like that, but at the same time, like the one team's, whole thing is, all right, we're gonna foul them. You know what
yeah,
I mean? So like that's the game plan. And then if you're on your side, you're just chucking up threes. You're not going into the hole. You're not creating that contact. And then at the end, you want to bitch, oh well, they got more foul calls with us. Well, that was kind of the game plan. So you can't have that. But when like both teams are getting all their points in the paint and they're getting hammered in every single thing, and then one team only gets called for like 5 fouls, and the other team gets called for like 30. Like that's bad.
yeah.
That's definitely that's definitely something that's
That
off.
means somebody's
But
looking for those fouls on purpose right now.
yeah, quiet game in the NHL. Rangers did play last night. They won 2-0. Shesterkin got his first shutout of the season.
No, nice.
He had been struggling. Everybody was talking about how Price was going to be the new, number one. But he seemed to found it last night. He actually played. I watched that game too. I had the two TVs going, and he was lights out with a lot of his saves. So he had 30 saves. Really, really a couple of good ones. It was only 1-0 for most of the game, and then they got an empty netter late. So,
Nice.
but good game. Calgary's a decent team. So to get his shutout and to get his confidence back, I think that's huge for them. They've now, I think, won. They've won like four in a row now since the All Star break, so that's good. They're on the right track. We will actually be down in Tampa this week too. So we got a rematch of a couple weeks ago. Uh, we'll
Yeah.
be in Tampa, so
So
we'll
we're
see who
going.
we'll see who plays that game.
We'll see if the tickets are
That's
cheap.
that's tomorrow. Yeah, it's tomorrow. So
Also,
happy
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Happy
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day,
Yeah, the
everybody.
Knicks and Rangers are both here in the Florida area on Valentine's Day. It's like if I actually had money to go to both of those games, like why would I have to choose? Like why can't like they come on different times? Like they
Yeah.
always got to come on an inconvenient time. Like Maybe I wanted to go see the Rangers play. Maybe I wanted to see the Knicks play, but I can't because they're playing on the same freaking night down here.
Yeah.
So
Now you gotta have two
it is what it
TVs.
is. I'm gonna be at home watching them on the two screens anyway. So
That's
you
it.
know,
Tell your
but
girl, that's my date tonight.
yeah, she's gonna, she's gonna be rooting for the Lightning. So
Yeah.
which I'm not faulting her for it. It is what it is. She's a Florida girl. It's good to have that love. So you know.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But yeah, man, sports is coming back though. Like we said, I know this
Oh
is
yeah, we're gonna have March Madness. We're gonna
yeah,
have, uh, for me, I get in. I do like golf, and I haven't really watched it as much as I have, but now, the like when we get into like April and spring training and baseball
yeah,
opens up, and that's the Masters, and the Masters is one of the best golf tournaments like out
yeah,
there. That's they play all year round, but that's kind of like their Super Bowl and their all right, this is the new season. The Masters is the first tournament of the year, the first major of the year. And like I said, even though they do these other tournaments and stuff like that, the Masters is their big thing. And that's
yeah,
coming up, in April. And it's always played at the same court in Georgia. And, we have a lot of good stuff coming up. We have
yeah,
March Madness, I haven't been following college basketball like I've had in the past, but that's always an exciting time. I think
yeah,
the thing for me about college basketball was, and this was years ago, I was a huge like it wasn't so much that I was a one team because college isn't huge in the North, but I was a big fan of the Big East Conference. But then, like through the years, so many teams left and they changed in conference and this and that. So it's like hard to say, who's in each conference, and it's like okay, whatever. Like I wasn't a Duke or North Carolina guy, but like teams like Syracuse and UConn and Pittsburgh and St. John's and Georgetown, like all those teams, like I was rooting for that Big East, but now like half of them aren't even in the Big East
oh
anymore.
damn,
So like the Big East tournament was to me just as exciting as the big NCAA tournament,
yeah,
but the Big East at back then all those teams would beat up on each other, and then like they'd be kind of a little sore going into the big tournament, but still UConn won it a few times, and obviously Villanova,
yeah,
and a lot of the teams, Syracuse. So a lot of fun times. So UConn, right? They won last year, right?
yeah,
Defending champs. So yeah, we're gonna see what happens this year. I'm excited. I still root, I guess, for any of those teams that used to be in the Big East, but you know, or still are. I don't know. But either way, college is the college. Everyone fills out their bracket, and everyone's busted by the first week. It's harder and harder now because these lower seeded teams are so good. You know what I mean? And some of the top talent isn't there for more than a year. So
yeah, for sure. That's it.
college is interesting, but at the same time, it's a lot of fun. My goal is to not. I mean, I'll still do a bracket because it's always fun to do a bracket,
Yeah,
but I think I'm going to literally bet every game individually if I can. That's a lot of bets.
yeah,
I might even. I might only be able to afford $1 per game, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do every single one of them.
yeah.
So
Cause what's the name? Those brackets are crazy. Like they really are.
yeah,
Like, can you
they really
imagine
are.
winning $1 million on a bracket like that? That's why they just throw that out there. Like, oh, win $1 million, make a bracket because they're just so hard.
Yep.
You're telling me that I'm gonna be able to? Nah, I've never been correct on those, and I probably never will. That's why they're so crazy, man. I think
Yeah.
about those brackets, and I'm like, dude, it takes you just being like, oh, this game should be this. Oh, they got upset. You're
Yeah.
like, I know a lot of people that make the brackets, and I just go, I'll watch the games, but I ain't making no bracket because it's just gonna be
Oh
scripted.
well, yeah. You watch it for the upset. I mean, well, the games go on all day. I'll be at work most of the time, and
Yeah,
and then at night, like I'll probably be watching a pro game. Like last night was the Knicks and Rangers played at the same night, and like normally, I like it when I have they spread them out, because
yeah,
it's like I could watch one or the other. I mean, now yes, I have the ability to watch both because I have two TVs, but I'd rather just concentrate on one and curse the refs out, curse the fucking coach out. You know how it is when you're watching a game. Like last night I'm fucking losing my shit because fucking Burks is on the fucking court instead of McBride, and I'm like, what the fuck you trying to do? But so it is what it is. He's trying to find a rhythm with these players. The All-Star, the Knicks are in Orlando. I can't see them winning this game. They're losing 4 straight going into the All-Star break. There's no way they're going to play that. I mean, listen, anything can happen, and we still have Brunson, and he's a star, but that's just the thing. Like, you need that collective team around him to make him better. Like, with no Anunoby and no Julius Randle, those are huge. I mean, huge, huge, huge losses. And,
for sure.
we didn't even have Hartenstein, so we didn't have him. Now, Jericho Sims we had back, so that's another big body who's a good, decent player. But, it is what it is. So
yeah, we lost the other night to Boston, but we had no Jimmy Butler. Someone in his family passed away,
and that was a close game.
And it was a close game. I was like, damn, because Tyler Hero, he went off. He had like 24 points, so that was nice. So
exactly.
But you need Jimmy Butler. You know what I mean? Just like you need your core. You know what I mean? It just happens. That's how it works.
Exactly.
That's why we said you got to be healthy. Because look at it right now. The Knicks were like 9-game win streak, and now they're 4-game losing streak because they lost.
Yeah.
That's how easy it is, man. You lose one big player or one key player, and now you're fumbling the ball because you don't know what the hell to do because that guy was so important to the fucking lineup, So
exactly.
That's how it is in all sports, man. That's why I hate, okay, you start playing, if you're in football and you're trash, you're trash from the first game because you're healthy then. I'm not saying that some people do get injured in, preseason and training camp, but usually you're collectively healthy. So if you start losing those games at the beginning and then you stay bad the whole time, then you were just trash from the jump. That's just the way it was. But if you're winning and then you get to the end and you're beat up and you're hurt and then you're yo, that's just what's called unfortunate events. You know what I mean? You got so hurt that your whole team demise. And we always talk about, you coaches and players aren't gonna say that. There's the next man up mentality, but it doesn't work that way all the time. You don't get lucky.
Right.
You don't get lucky like that all the time. Why do you think the Chiefs won? Because they got healthier at the right time while people were getting hurt.
That had a lot to do with it too. Yeah. I mean, health in these professional sports, especially in there are times where teams are just better than the others, and the other ones where the team's just healthier than the others.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Football, a lot of it is health, man.
It really is.
That Giant team years ago that beat the undefeated Patriots, they were not healthy most of the year, and then all of a sudden, all their top guys got healthy right before the playoff run, and they stayed healthy. So that was a huge amount. And I think the Patriots in the second Super Bowl lost Gronkowski. They lost a couple of linemen. The Giants were healthier than that one too. So health does have a lot to do with it, But
we talked about last.
Obviously, Mahomes, had to be healthy, and
yes,
so,
yeah. If you had Mahomes not in that game, you think they win? Of course not.
No, there was a shot in that game,
So it just comes down to that. You had Brock Purdy, who was pretty much a rookie because he lost last time in the divisional, right? It was in the championship game versus the Eagles because he the first play threw out his fucking arm, and then the next year he goes to the Super Bowl, right? And then you're you got Patrick Mahomes, who's already the golden boy. That's why we start to question these sports because it's
Purdy didn't play bad.
No, Purdy didn't play bad. He didn't play good.
He didn't if the Niners would have won, I wouldn't have said he was the MVP. It would have been McCaffrey.
Yeah, that's
he scored the touchdown. He was the check down, just like they were all year. Yeah, he won Offensive Player of the Year. He should have been the MVP.
Yeah.
But apparently that's just designated for fucking quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Unless he would have had a ridiculous amount of stats.
He did. I don't know. He brought them to the Super Bowl.
He did have stats, but
Like, don't they do they like end the voting?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how it works. I don't know how it works.
It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be most valuable player, not best quarterback. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I get it. Like,
like
cause like
I don't. And I mean, yeah, I get it. The quarterback's the most important position, but that's not necessarily the most important position. You know, it depends
yeah,
on how your schemes are and whatnot, and how the team is. But
Christian
the
McCaffrey needs to go
Niners were not.
to the Chiefs so that they can keep the storyline
Oh,
going. Is there any more storyline up? No, he has to lose a Super Bowl now. Watch, the Chiefs will be back in the Super Bowl next year to lose,
dude,
so that
I don't know if they're going to be back next year. The Niners, you know, they got real lucky this year in even getting there, and they played well.
yeah,
But it was like I said, the first half was just so fucking boring.
yeah.
Like both teams would just look rusty. Like they didn't like having 2 weeks off. They were out of their rhythm,
Well, that
and then they finally started
I
to
don't know why the
figure it
Pro
out. It's like,
Bowl is the week before the Super Bowl. It needs to be after the Super Bowl. Why? Like,
well, it
and
used to be after the Super
yeah,
Bowl,
it
but
needs to be. Who
um,
wants to fucking just put the
they
Super
but
Bowl
they
on?
wanted some kind of filler in between
Well, I'm saying just make the
because
Super Bowl 1 week
it
earlier.
was
Make this, yeah,
always a 2 week gap between the
yeah,
Super Bowl. You know why? Because they need to have the media and they have to have all the publicity and this and that. So it's always been 2 weeks. And then they used to do the Pro Bowl was always in Hawaii, and it was always the week after. And it was a regular game with all the All Stars. So even if you were in the Super Bowl, even though if they made the Super Bowl, chances are they would attend but not play. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Um, but so then they're like, well, we need a filler in between, so let's move the Pro Bowl. And then the Pro Bowl is just getting more ridiculous at the time. So back in the day, like when they first had the Pro Bowl, that was a big deal because it was a big bonus for guys that made it. Like, and
yeah,
it was basically a free. It was basically like because those guys don't make the money that they make today. It was a big pay bonus plus a free paid vacation to Hawaii.
yeah.
you know,
Now it's
and
Orlando
like,
every year.
and then like even the press that covered it, and people would win. It's like, oh, let's go to the Pro Bowl. It's a fucking vacation in Hawaii, and you get to
Yeah,
watch a football game, even if it's not really, but hey, back in the '70s, they probably were competitive and still played hard in those
yeah,
kind of games. But now it's just kind of like, they wanted a filler, so like, to keep people interested, so they put it in the middle, and then they're like, we can't have guys getting hurt, so we're gonna make it a flag football game and like a skills competition and make it just whatever. And I mean, the flag football is interesting, but I don't know.
see what happens
I
is
saw
that we
so much.
don't even care that it was tackle football anymore, because you know why we don't
Right.
care is because it's an expedition game, right? It's a game that has no value factor in our
Yeah.
team's success, right? So we're really bored by it. Like, people like to go to it because it's a cheaper game, it's fun, like they laugh, you have a good time. But like, you're not gonna catch me at the Pro Bowl unless it's on a practice day where I can get autographs for my favorite player. You know what I mean? That's why I'm going.
Yeah.
So, or to like,
Yeah, now they do it in the same city as the Super Bowl, right? Or
no,
do they
no,
do it
it's in
somewhere different
Orlando.
now?
It's in Orlando.
Oh, they did in Orlando.
Yeah, it was in Orlando again. It's always in Orlando now. That's the new destination for the
Oh,
Pro Bowl.
that's the
Yeah,
new
it's been like
destination from
Orlando.
Hawaii
Yeah,
to
yeah,
Orlando.
yep, to Orlando now.
Well,
So
it is cheaper in Orlando, that's for sure.
yeah, for sure. So, but like at the end of the day, like, it's just there's no, even in a sport person who's competitive, there's no value. So like, if you like the Pro Bowl, hey, good for you. Like, I watched a little bit of it. I watched more because of Tua, and then after Tua got sat down, I just turned it off. It was but I just seen him because that's just my quarterback. So it's like, okay, I'll watch him. And then he threw a couple passes, he had
Yeah,
2 touchdowns, and then they said, okay, you're done. And then that was it. That was the end of the game for me. I turned it off. Even though Tyreek Hill was out there, like, Tyreek Hill's not getting the ball every play. So like, Tua gets the ball every play. So it is what it
yeah,
is. But if you enjoy the Pro Bowl, enjoy the Pro Bowl. Nothing wrong with it.
yeah,
I just don't
yeah.
like.
Nothing wrong with it.
I just don't like that
It's
it's not competitive.
it's your best players,
Yeah.
playing flag football.
Yep.
I wish we could have bet on it though. I
Yeah.
don't
They
know.
don't let you bet on the Pro Bowl because
Couldn't
it's
find action,
there's no
but they'll let you. They'll let you bet on the national anthem and like the coin
Yeah,
flip, but they
coin
won't let
flip.
you bet on
No,
football. It's
not
weird.
on that. That's
You know? So much nonsense in the world.
it really is.
Uh,
It's funny.
but that's what happens, and that's what we do.
Yep.
So anyway, not
Um,
much more to go over.
no.
I think we're pretty much done with today's episode.
Yep.
We're gonna have one on Thursday. We'll recap the last few games in the NBA, and then NHL will be on full swing. We'll have a recap of the Lightning Rangers round 3.
Yep.
Rangers are up 2-0 so far, but anything can happen. Lightning are a good team, so we'll enjoy watching that game. Hopefully, my Knicks don't crash and burn, although they probably will if they keep playing fucking Alex Burks. And whatever. Getting into the All Star game, and then we'll have the big preview for the Daytona 500 with Morgan. Right, Morgan's coming
Yep.
on
Morgan will be on
Saturday.
Saturday. Yep.
All right, we're getting some guests again. All right, some real guests.
Yep.
Nice. All right.
Talk to you guys about your
Well,
NASCAR.
yeah, maybe we'll go over a little golf. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll do something for sure. But we appreciate you all. We love you all.
All right.
Thank you guys. We'll be live one of these days on Kick, so make sure you guys do follow us on Kick. We'll have that linked somewhere soon because I just made it, so we'll have it. We appreciate you guys.
All right.
Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment. You guys have a good one. We're out.
Later.